All right, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. We are live after a few days of not being on at all. Technical difficulties will do that to you. In fact, still suffering technical difficulties as we speak, but adapting. Give me a second here. Okay, so let's do this. We're gonna have to do something like this today. Welcome to Michael Badaway Live. The date is May 12th, 2020, and I've got your pertinent information for today. We'll start a little bit lighthearted. Today's actually the day that Manitoba became a Canadian province. Yeah, believe it or not, that was all the way back in the year 1870. Before that, it was owned by W.T. Pooh. Perhaps you've heard of the guy. Um, Actually, not so light news. We do have Jerry Stiller, the father of Ben Stiller, better known as George Costanza's father on Seinfeld, passed away today at the age of 92. Not only did he play George Costanza's father, but he played on King of Queens. I believe he played the father. What else do we have in store for you today? Got a couple of birthdays, actually. Rami Malek. Rami Malek is the ancient Egyptian actor who portrayed Freddie Mercury in the biopic. And he's 39 years young. Happy birthday, Rami. And actually, technically speaking, Homer Simpson is 69 today. 69 years, Homer Simpson. Doesn't look a day over, golly. I don't know. How do you describe Homer J? He's one of a kind, right? Anyhow, the least amount that a family can live on. We're going to get to some more serious stuff here. We're going to talk virus stuff a little bit. So the least amount a family can live on, a family, let's say 4 people, we're looking at $5,000 to $6,000 a month, give or take. Just throwing that out there. How much do you make if you've been forced to stay home and collect the bursary or whatever it is from the government? And what's going to happen when that runs out in another couple of months? These are questions we all have to ask. I guess maybe that's why they're starting to send us back to work, even though more and more people are getting infected. And, again, we did hit the numbers to be on a worst case trajectory, which meant that we did hit over 1,000 deaths by the end of April. So there's no reason to expect anything but 80,000 deaths by this time next year if those predictions were accurate. Nevertheless, we shall see. Only time will tell, right? Getting to the Earth, there's 4.3 million of us now infected with the virus. Of those people, 292,000 have passed away. That's a 7% world death rate, which is not bad globally. It's actually down from the initial or earlier world death rate of 20%. America is in first place. They've got 1.4 million people infected. And if you are living in America, you've got a 6% chance of dying of the virus if you get it. So that's like a little bit less than the overall average. They're doing a little bit better than the world average. The fourth place country, UK, has moved up. They're in fourth place right now with 226,463 of our brethren in the UK infected with the virus. Of them, 32,692 have died. The UK is not a place you want to be if you have the virus. 14% of people are dying to contract COVID-19. I said I wasn't going to say it, but I said it. I said I was just going to refer to it as the virus, but now I've said it, COVID-19. So we've got a 14% death rate from COVID-19 in the UK. That's not so good. Canada has dropped from 13th to 14th place, so not bad, I guess. 71,157 of us are infected. That's 1,000 new cases or so today, 1,100 or 1,200. And 5,169 people in Canada have died from those 71,000 people. So that's a 7% death rate. In fact, the world death rate is 6.7%. Canada, I remember when it had the death rate of 2% and 3%, 4%, and 5%. When I stopped looking at it for a while, now we're at a death rate of 7%. Meanwhile, the world death rate has dropped from 20% to 6.7%. So Canada has a slightly higher than average chance of dying of the virus by 0.3%, if you can track it here, which is interesting. And by the way, 1.6% of all the cases of coronavirus are in Canada. 46th place, Egypt. 10,000 people in Egypt have the virus. 347 new cases today. 544 Egyptians have passed away. They've got a 5% death rate in Egypt, doing better than Canada or America right now. Australia still leading the pack. Well, in terms of they're trailing the pack, being that, you know, they're like 50 something on the list in terms of infection. But Australia actually has only a 3% or 1.3, I should say, a 1.3% rate of death of the virus in Australia. Australia is kicking proverbial butt. 97 people have died in Australia of the 6,964 infected. So that is amazing. Still under 100 deaths in Australia. What do the Australians know? Maybe you have to eat a dingo's baby. Or I don't know, maybe. Never mind. I'm going to stay away from jokes I don't understand. Russia moved into third place for coronavirus. Yeah, they knocked out Italy, and they lag now only behind Spain. Spain has got almost, well, they're pushing 250,000 cases now. Let's say probably by a couple of days they'll be there. Same with Russia. And of course, Italy right up there as well. It's not a good time to just be in a lot of what we consider to be first world countries right now. Like imagine, I don't know, it boggles the mind. You got a 14% chance of dying in America. America is the world's richest country, yet their death rate of this virus is double that of the globe, the global average. I don't know what you think of that, but I think it's something we have to think about. Not that Canada is that far off. I mean, so we're 0.3% off from the world average, but we used to be kicking butt. We used to be at 2%. Now we're at 7%. And, you know, the world average is 6.7%. So we're lagging behind a bit. Anyhow, what is the problem? Is the problem us, or is the problem that we're just, as a society, going about this the wrong way? A lot of people are putting all their hopes and dreams on a vaccine. Other people are terrified of a vaccine. I mean, I understand both sides of it. I love a vaccine that worked, that's been tested for like 5 years or something, but what are the chances of that happening? Should we be mandated to take a vaccine? I don't think so. But what do I know? Anyhow, it's been a slice. Again, technical difficulties have made things difficult these past few, but gonna keep trying to pump them out as often as possible, get things fixed up here, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Michael Badaway saying, have a great night.